Hello everyone and welcome back to TowerGate. It is TowerGate day number 601. It is November the 7th, 2018, Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is take out the trash and have some chicken. That's what we're going to do on Wednesday, and go back and look at what happened, because as I'm coming to you now, it is about 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday night. 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday night. We have good news, and we have possibly some bad news. Let's get to the good news. We have big upset wins in the Senate, and in fact things are going very well in the Senate. It looks like Mike Braun has beat Donnelly in Indiana. Marsha Blackburn, a solid victory in Tennessee. Ted Cruz beats all that money in Beto in Texas. It looks like we have McMaster wins in South Carolina. There's all my South Carolina folks. A lot of South Carolina people on this channel. You guys had a big win with McMaster last night, or tonight, or whenever night. It looks like we have, unfortunately here in Ohio, Sherrod Brown did win that race. But as it stands right now, the governorship, Mike DeWine, has looks like about a 2-point advantage with most of the vote counted. 97% or so. So it looks like Ohio is going to have a Republican governor, but it looks like Sherrod Brown, we're not able to unseat him. He will remain the senator. That's not good. We had Greg Abbott had a big win in Texas tonight, so congratulations Texas. Looks like you got Ted Cruz and you got Greg Abbott. Well done. It looks like Tsunami pulled it out up in New Hampshire. That's always good. Always nice to have a solid Republican in New Hampshire. And of course, it looks like the most interesting thing happening right now is, as I'm coming to you now, it looks like the Democrats are going to win the governorship in Michigan. But as I'm coming to you now, the race between Stabenow and John James for that Senate seat is very close. Too close to call. Still quite a bit of the vote left to count. So they haven't called it for either John James or Stabenow. I think Stabenow has a slight lead now, but that race has been back and forth all night long. John James started out with a lead, then Stabenow went ahead, then John James went ahead. They've both been ahead at various points in this race. It's probably going to come down to the wire on that one, and we just don't know at this point whether or not what the results are. That we'll know tomorrow, I'm sure. By the time you watch this video, we'll know who won that race. So right now, as far as in the House race is concerned, we have 141 House seats being held by Republicans. 141 at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The Democrats with 132. So 141 to 132 in the House. But the issue here is that as we go farther out toward the west, the attrition rate will become higher for Republicans, even if we hold and take 7 of those 8 seats out in California that the Democrats are hoping to flip. Even if we hold on to those, it is still going to be a very, very tough deal to hold on to the House. So by the time you're watching this video, we shall know. But right now, it is not good. Let's put it that way. It is not good looking. It is not looking good for the House. It looks like we could very well lose the House, or it's going to come down to literally a tie. It's not going to be, if the Democrats take the House, and it's looking right now like they very well could, it won't be by a lot. That's for sure. It will be just a handful of seats. But that's enough to make Nancy Pelosi the Speaker. It's enough to make Adam Schiff head of the Intelligence Committee, House Intelligence Committee. It's enough for Mad Max to become head of the Banking Committee. That's kind of frightening. So, yeah, it looks like that's where we stand right now at 11 o'clock p.m. It looks very, very good in the Senate. I think we'll probably end up with somewhere around 54, maybe 55 seats in the Senate. Too short of what I had predicted. And in the House, it's not looking very good right now. We lost a couple seats we shouldn't have lost. These were seats that the GOP pulled out of. We had another seat in Wyoming, Chris Kobach, where we literally had the Chamber of Commerce, which is of course, the establishment Republican wing, I guess you would say, of the Republican Party, and they probably fought Kobach as hard as the Democrats did. They did. They would the establishment GOP in this particular case would rather have seen the Democrat win than the Republican because of various issues, including the immigration issue and things and such. So there you go. That shows that you still have the establishment wing of the Republican Party still out there working against the Make America Great Again agenda. So that is how that works. We had Menendez managed to hang on in New Jersey, as did Joe Manchin. So they hung on to those seats. Those are two seats that I didn't think so much West Virginia, because Manchin is just, he's really well liked there. He's won a lot of tough elections there. He continues to do so. He did vote for Kavanaugh. So that didn't surprise me with Joe Manchin. But in the last couple of days, it looked to me like Menendez was going to be in trouble. But again, New Jersey, a very, very tough state. Very tough state for Republicans in general. So, we had of course, Kevin Cramer beat the tar out of Heidi Heitkamp. I think we all knew that was going to happen. It's so early out here where we are in Ohio that we just don't have any numbers right now on what's going on with the Nevada and Arizona races. Certainly not the California races. But we'll certainly know that by the time you're watching this video tomorrow. You'll know that. But I don't know it right now. But it looks like to me that we're going to end up with somewhere around 54, maybe 55 Senate seats. We're definitely going to hold on to the Senate. That's hugely important. But it's looking like the House may be slipping away. Maybe the Republicans will turn a few Democrat seats that were supposed to be leaning Democrat. But that's what they would have to do at this point to hold on to the House. Because if it continues on with the way it's going, based on the ones that are leaning left or leaning red or leaning blue, the Republicans would have to win 2 or 3 of those seats that are in the leaning Democrat column. They're going to have to win 2 or 3 of those. They're going to have to take away a couple if they're going to hold on to the House. And it looks quite difficult. It's going to be very, very close. But anyway, that would be what we discussed, possibly the worst case scenario, which again, as I said last night, even if that happens, we still have the White House, we still have the Senate, we still have, which is important because of judges, we still have the 5-4 court. Trump will may get another pick before the 2 years are up, depending on what happens with Ginsburg. And so it looks good. We had most of the governor races, as far as I could see, no big changes there. You had a change in Michigan, but that's expected because it seems like Michigan flip-flops between Republican and Democrat governors. They just like to flip back and forth. So there was no big surprises in the governor's races that I could see. Everything pretty much played out the way everyone thought. So I guess the story of the election at this point is that there was nothing really. There was certainly no blue wave, but there was no real red tsunami as I predicted. But I did predict that we would hold on to the House. A little surprised. We lost a few seats there that I didn't think we would lose. And again, those are a lot of the races where GOP pulled out resources and I guess didn't want to fight for those seats. So that's unfortunate, but we'll just take it as it goes. Now, we haven't lost the House yet by any stretch, but I'm saying it's trending that way. It is trending that way. Just giving it to you straight, my friends, because we all have to deal with it. So, what does this mean for TowerGate and for Spygate? Because obviously, this election will be over, and in a couple days from now, we won't be talking that much about it anymore. We'll be moving forward and getting back to the main topic that we cover here on this channel, which is the TowerGate, the Spygate, the frame-up, the 2016 election shenanigans with the FBI, the CIA, the Obama administration carrying out a coup d'etat against President Trump. So what happens with that? Well, of course, that continues, my friends, because yes, although the efforts that are being made, that have been made in the House, to investigate this or get this done to expose the truth, while that's going to probably come, in fact, definitely going to come to pretty much of a screeching halt, because the people who will be running the committees will be Democrats, and they won't be interested in any more investigation into that. But we do have Lindsey Graham, who will be taking over on the Senate Judiciary Committee, and he has stated that he wants to get to the bottom of what went on with the FBI and all that. So you'll still have, on the Senate side, you will have Lindsey Graham heading up the Judiciary Committee, and he's stated that he's going to pursue it. And you have also to remember that the change over in power doesn't take place for another 2 months or so. And that leaves plenty of time for Nunes, Goodlatte, and the rest to get their report out based on all the evidence they've accumulated so far. And they still have a good month and a half or so that they can continue investigating and interviewing witnesses. And they've got a lot of things in their report now, probably enough to give to the Attorney General in order to get a special counsel. And based on what Trump has said, it's very likely, from what he said and what Lindsey Graham has said and other people who are on the inside, it's likely Jeff Sessions will be excused shortly after the midterms. I expect Mueller will be wrapping up his thing, or else Rodenstein will be likely going as well. The only reason Trump will keep Rodenstein around is for him to manage the Mueller situation to an end very quickly. And then, of course, we still have Trump, who is actually the person who we're all counting on to drain the swamp and expose the crimes. And he has stated after the midterms he may declassify some things. He can always push for a special counsel, because, like I said, in the remaining 2 months, you're going to see the House Intelligence Committee and House Oversight Committee put out their reports with all that they've gathered, and they've gathered a lot. Probably, I would say, plenty for an Attorney General to appoint a special counsel. And it will be probably, Trump will be pushing for that. And it's likely that it will be a new Attorney General who is not recused from all this stuff like Sessions is. And if Trump makes a good pick of Attorney General and the House sends over their report, it's very likely they would appoint a special counsel. This stuff is all coming out regardless. Yes, the Democrats will throw a wrench in the spokes in the House, but we still have the Senate, and we still have the President, and we still have the facts of what did happen. Plenty of journalists still working on the story, plenty of things still out there. So the TowerGate story will continue. The Spygate fiasco will continue to be unraveled. It's just going to look different than what it would have looked before, because you will have the Democrats obstructing in the House. But again, the President will be there, probably with a new Attorney General who's not recused. The reports will still come out. The IG report, Huckleberry Horowitz report, will still come out. Trump's going to declassify a lot of things after the midterms. So I'm still optimistic that we are going to expose the truth and bring the criminals to justice. Because Trump ultimately said he's going to drain the swamp. He's not going to let them get away with it. And he ultimately is running that show. He's just doing it in his own way. So the House cannot stop a special counsel investigation. They can't stop the report that will be coming out. They cannot stop what Lindsey Graham may decide to do. And he has also stated that he wants to get to the bottom of what happened with the DOJ, the FBI, the dossier, and all the rest. So there's still plenty of fighters left, and Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows and those guys, they're not going away. They are going to put out their report, and they are going to continue to push. It's just going to be very difficult for them to get things done with Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi and the whole gang probably obstructing everything. They'll control the committees and control what's looked at and what is not looked at. So things are going to become very counterproductive in the House. But there's still several other angles by which to go at this, including the most important one, and that's the President. So anyway, the Spygate story, the investigation into the frame-up, the whole 9 yards, that's still going to continue. and I'll still continue to work on it, cover it here every day, and we'll just keep digging away, and we'll see what happens on a day or two from now when the election's over. All the votes have been counted. We'll know exactly where we stand and exactly what strategy we must take now if in fact the Democrats take back the House. And this is all predicated on that, because right now at 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is looking like it is moving in that direction. Possibly a slight win by the Democrats in the House, and that would be that's enough. 218 Democrats in the House means they take control of the House. So that is the situation as we see it now. Again, it could change. We could flip a few seats that the Democrats were or everyone was counting on that would go Democrat, but it's that is not very likely. So that's the reality of the situation. But regardless, we're going to keep pushing forward, keep moving forward on the main topic of TowerGate, which is exposing the crimes by the criminal deviants, regardless of who's running the House. So again, it's pretty much it's not a real surprising to me. We had huge turnout in this election on both sides. We had tons and tons of money poured into the campaign, and Republicans and Democrats both made decisions on where to pull resources a couple weeks ago, and you can see a lot of those races where Democrats, like in Heidi Heitkamp in North Dakota, they pretty much pulled out there. It's likely Claire McCaskill is going to lose in Missouri. They've backed out there some. So they just sort of refocused, it seems like, in the last 2 weeks on the seats they really both thought that they could hold on to. The Democrats seem to want to protect more House seats or go after more House seats. The Republicans seem to have wanted to place their resources in the Senate. And for whatever reason, that seems to be the way the election looks, that the Republicans really wanted to work the Senate, and they were willing to walk away from seats in the House in order to do that. That's just how it looks right now, that they made a decision that they didn't think that they could do both. So anyway, that's where we are, but not over yet. I could wake up tomorrow morning and find out that we held on to the House. But if we do, it's going to be by the absolute skin of our teeth. But that's okay. I'd take a 218, 217 or whatever. I'd take that. But we'll see what happens. But either way, it's all good. We keep digging, and it's another day. So I really don't have much more to add at this point, because we just don't know very much at this point, other than there's no blue wave. There was no red tsunami. There was nothing really major that I think either party can feel extremely good or extremely bad about. It's sort of a break-even deal. So it's I don't think anybody's going to be celebrating too much or probably crying too much. It's probably going to be, we won one and lost one kind of thing. So we'll just take it from here and see what happens tomorrow, and we'll keep digging. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll be back on Thursday for a full-length video, and we'll know a lot more about how things went down, and we'll hash it all out then and talk about how we move forward to bringing the criminals to justice. What strategy do we use now? Stay tuned. You guys have a good night. See you. Bye.